IPMNation.com. Stay tuned for further instructions. You are receiving a remote transmission from IPMNation.com. Stay tuned for further instructions.
Welcome everyone to Remote Transmission. It's about 11:35 on the East Coast here on the IPMNation.com live channel. Sorry we're getting on a little bit late, everybody. Matt Connerton sitting here at Styling Souls in downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Dan is with me, Dan Randblett. How are you, Dan?
Doing wonderful, Matt.
Trish is also here with us. I don't think she's going to be participating, but she's in the background there. So, yeah, we got started a little bit late. Norm Unfiltered ran a little long tonight, so but some pretty interesting radio. We just heard C-Kwes. The track is Manufactured Anger, and C-Kwes is on the phone with us. How are you, C-Kwes?
I'm good. How you doing?
Very good, very good. So we've actually, or I've interviewed you before. We had you and the rest of your band, Destructive Rhythm, on the Hidden Track, which is a show that you can find if anyone's interested. They can find it right here on IPMNation.com. That was what was that, about a year ago?
Yeah, I believe it was last year around the same time.
Yeah. So it's good to talk to you again. And do you have, what are you doing now? Do you have some solo stuff that's coming out, or are you more focused on the solo career?
Yeah, actually, my band, Destructive Rhythm, is on hiatus.
Okay.
But, you know, we're going through some issues there, but we actually finished recording our album, and we're in the process of mixing it, and we're going to put it out anyway. But I just received the first copies of Lousy Forecast, which is my second solo album, and that's under the label Death Contact Products, which is an independent label that, you know, me and my drummer, we run it, and we're trying to get it up off the ground. We've been doing music for a long time now. We got a lot of tracks, so we've been tying up all the loose ends, and within the next couple of months, we're just going to put it all out. So Lousy Forecast is the first CD that is coming out in a series of albums we're going to drop, hopefully before the end of the year. It's an 11-track album.
Okay.
And, you know, it's got some features on it, but it's hip-hop. It's underground hip-hop. You know, it's on the hardcore side. It's original, you know, it's somewhat experimental.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, we've been working on it for a little while now, and, you know, the response so far has been pretty good. I've been leaking out a few copies here and there to certain people, so I'm in the process of revamping everything. The MySpace page, we're about to get on Facebook. We have the digital download account, so pretty soon you'll be able to download all the tracks on iTunes and all the other sites. And you know, we got merch coming, stickers. We're trying to go all out right now. The time is now. So
now,
that's it.
Were you doing solo stuff prior to Destructive Rhythm? Have you always done both, or?
Yeah, I've been doing solo stuff. I've been doing, I don't know. It's been a long time now. I mean, I've been involved in music for about 10 years, so I've always been rhyming, writing, and, you know, I always wanted to do live music with a band. And, you know, that's why I got into music. I love going to shows, grew up going to hardcore shows, hip-hop shows. So, you know, I always had the band in mind first and foremost. But, you know, trying to get musicians and, you know, trying to put it together, it didn't happen. You know, and it didn't happen for a while, I should say. So I've always been writing and just doing music, working with producers, and, you know, I had all these tracks. So I figured to put them out, you know. I never really woke up one day and said, I want to be an MC or I'm a rapper, you know. I just like writing lyrics, consider myself a lyricist, a vocalist, and an MC, you know. So I've been doing music for a long time now, so it's just about getting it all out there and making it accessible to people. So I've done so many shows over the years. So, you know, when Destructive Rhythm got together, I kind of put my solo career on the back burner for a little while. So we went strong for about 2.5 years. And we were doing good. We were into Battle of the Bands. You know, we played a ton of shows all over Boston, you know, all the big clubs, Paradise, Middle East, Western Front. So while we were doing that, like I said, I kind of put the solo stuff in the cut. But since, you know, the band's kind of on a little hiatus, I've just been trying to get it all out there.
Now, what inspires you in your lyrics? Like, what really is your main inspiration in your writing?
My main inspiration, it depends on the day, to be honest with you. It's like, if you know, obviously Manufactured Anger isn't a track that you'll hear on Jammin' 94.5 or, you know, the hip-hop stations that, you know, the main...
With such a title like that, it's such a chill song, though. The beat in that is so chill. It's not like, it's not really an angry song, but it's like talking about the rhythm.
Right. It's different, and it all depends. Sometimes a beat will inspire me to write something, but, you know, my main inspiration is just day-to-day life, what I go through during the day, and everybody's thought process is different, so it's just how it comes out on a track. It all depends on the day. Like, I don't have one formula that I use for every song, you know. I try to dig deep, and a lot of my other music is more like reflective, especially with the band, a lot more personal. It's not just MCing and rhyming, and, you know, I really like, with the Destructive Rhythm songs, like I said, it was a lot more personal, and it was different for me, because I was lucky enough to be in a band with some real good musicians, talented musicians, so, like, they brought the best out of me, and, you know, we fed off each other, so it was just live drum and bass, and it doesn't sound like you can do a lot with just drum and bass, but we actually did. And with my solo stuff, it's a good. It switches the pace, you know. Like hip hop is cool because you can do whatever you want with hip hop, and I like beats that a lot of people might not like or might not inspire them to write. And you know, I don't focus a lot on being different or trying to stand out, you know, but I just do me, and if that's what happens, then I'm cool with that. So a lot of the feedback I get is that, you know, you don't sound like, you know, you don't really sound like everybody else, or, you know, it's different. So
now, do you feel that gives you a competitive edge in the underground scene?
In Boston, I feel like it might, because, you know, there is a lot of similarities between acts, and, you know, I feel like a lot of people, like with music, like to be doing it, especially in the underground scene, if you don't love what you're doing, then you're not gonna do it, because any underground artist struggles to get their stuff out there, or everything you do, you're doing it yourself, you know. So if you don't love what you're doing, then you're not gonna have the drive or motivation to do it, you know. So like I feel just my love for what I'm doing, and just being on stage and the crowd and the interaction is like, it's authentic because it's from the heart, you know. I'm not, you know, even the attention that, like, to be on stage or be out there, I'm not 100% comfortable with it. I just love to rock it and you know, do my thing. So I just feel like it's coming from a real place, you know. So as long as I stay true to me and you know how I feel about what I'm doing, then, you know, everything else should fall into place.
Do you feel like it's more pressure doing this as a solo project as opposed to being in the band, or is it kind of liberating?
In some ways, yeah, but in other ways, no, because it's just me that I only have to answer to myself, you know?
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's like, with the band, it was like, I wanted to impress my bandmates, you know? And if they were impressed, then I was cool with that, and I wasn't really worried about anybody else, you know, just out of my respect for them and what they do as musicians. So in some ways, yeah, some ways, no.
Okay. Now, the two tracks that we're playing tonight, we played Manufactured Anger, and we're going to be playing another song at the end of the show, Woke Up with Amadeus. Are those on your upcoming release, or are these songs that have already been out for a while?
Manufactured Anger is on the upcoming release.
Okay.
It's actually track 3 on the album.
Uh-huh.
And Woke Up is actually coming out on my next solo album, which is called Brief Moments in Time. And I actually have more material recorded for that album than is actually on Lousy Forecast. So that album's gonna, you know, it's gonna have about, I'm looking at close to 20 tracks.
Wow.
I'm trying to sort out which songs are gonna make it, and they're all, for the most part, they're with, you know, a lot of the beats I use are with different producers, and a lot of the songs have like collaborations I've done over the past couple of years, and you know, it's different. And that's where, you know, Brief Moments in Time was a fitting name for the album. So in that track, I Woke Up, Amadeus actually produced it, and he's on the track. So that album there's a lot of different stuff on there. There's some, you know, harder songs, darker songs, but then I actually, you know, brightened it up and did some different things on the album. I have a track that's on that album that's called Show Goes On, and I have a couple reggae artists on that track singing the chorus, and that's different. And, you know, my drummer actually produced that beat, and, you know, it's got some hand drums in it, and, you know, it's just got a positive vibe to it. So a lot of the stuff, like, you know, Lousy Forecast, my frame of mind when I was writing it, you know, it was just lousy forecast, like doom and gloom. My outlook wasn't too good on it, you know.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of those tracks was around like 2007, and a few of those tracks were written and recorded a couple of years ago. So whereas brief moments of time. A lot more of the material is current, and some of it is a couple of years old also. And it's just a good mix of music, and I can't wait to get that out there too. So.
Now, is any of this material, are these songs, any of them that were intended for Destructive Rhythm but didn't quite fit, or is this all specifically for your for the solo aspect of your career?
It was all for the solo aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
The thing with Destructive Rhythm, when it was like that was my main focus. You know, I still did my solo stuff. I still listened to beats, and I did during the time with Destructive Rhythm. I did a lot more features on other people's albums where I do a verse and I come through and do collaborations. So with the band, I just kind of kept it separate, pretty much, you know, deliberately. Like I wanted it to be separate.
Sure.
So, and like I said, with the band, it was a lot more personal and like reflective type of stuff that we were writing. So I did keep it separate, and those songs were all written just with Destructive Rhythm in mind.
And with the label that you have, are you focused primarily on your material, or do you have some other artists that are a part of the label that you're working with?
Well, right now it's mainly me, the solo stuff I'm doing, and you know we always intended to put the band's material out
Sure.
under that also, and like we do all our own recording. My drummer Tim Dog, we call him. I hope he's listening. You know, I'd like to give him a shout out because he's a big part of Def Contact. It's pretty much me and him. You know, we're both in this together. We've been doing music from the beginning. So whether he's playing drums, producing hip hop beats, he's actually engineered the whole Destructive Rhythm album as well as Lousy Forecast. So he's mixing, engineering, and you know we're getting into the mastering. So our plan is just to put out all the tracks that are done, and like I said before, tie up all the loose ends, and then we're gonna start building. And we actually, you know, we work with a few other artists, and you know, we do some recording for other people. But as far as focusing on putting other acts out, there's nothing set in stone yet. But there are a few artists that we work with, and you know, projects that are in the making. And I'm actually going to be working on a collaboration album with another MC from Boston, Diogenes. I'd like to give him a shout out too. So we're going to put out an album, C-Kwes and Diogenes, and you know that's still in the making. We already recorded one track, but that'll be coming out under Def Contact as well. So we're definitely open to that, and we want to work with other people in the future, you know. But it's definitely going to be few and far between. We like to keep a tight knit group of people that we work with and that we do involve ourselves with. So in the near future, we will be putting out, you know, other artists.
Sure.
So that's the plan.
What is the meaning of your name?
Of the name of the Def Contact, or
no, that's C-Kwes. Your actual like that. I'm assuming that's a stage name. You weren't born with that.
Yeah, that's my MC name. Yeah, C is a abbreviation of my first name, and I used to spin records years ago, and I was actually a DJ for a little while for this group, True Indeed, and they actually really helped me. Like they pushed me and you know motivated me to actually take MCing and rhyming serious. So my DJ name was C-Kwes, like the show C-Kwes. This is about going back 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So we kind of see, and you know, my boys in the group, that's kind of what they call me. It was Kwes, Kwes. So kind of turned it into C-Kwes and kind of stuck. So there's no profound or deep explanation. And it's just
kind of gives you that again because you see that name and it's like, you know, it's not like your standard hip hop name in a sense. Now, what's the meaning behind the label's name? You were kind of mentioning that too.
Def Contact. Well, that's something I came up with again at least 8 years ago when you know, I started rhyming. I rhymed. I always had like a group like idea of doing something with another MC, or at the time I had a DJ, Mr. Cubes, and I was the MC, and I had like another MC that would rhyme with me. He was kind of like the hype man. He'd do a verse here and there. So I had, I was trying to come up with a name for a group, and Def Contact was something that just came into mind, and I got the name. I was into like Carl Sagan. He actually has a book, Contact. It was a movie, Jodie Foster, whatever. And if you look on the cover of the album, of the movie, she's sitting in front of a satellite field with the headphones on, listening to frequencies from outer space. So I always wanted to use the name Contact. I thought it was cool. I thought the movie, the book was cool. So I kind of came up with Def Contact, and I kind of put it together. Thought it flowed nice as well. So it's been the name for so long that it's been a while since I actually put thought into like the meaning behind it, the history behind it. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty much where I got that.
Well, C-Kwes, before we start to wrap up with you, where do we find you online so everyone can keep up with what you're doing?
Right now, you can find me on MySpace, and it's Def Contact on MySpace. So Def Contact is one word, DEF Contact, and that's where my solo tracks are. And like I said, I'm in the process of revamping the whole page. So by the end of the weekend, I'm hoping the whole Lousy Forecast, the new album, the whole track listings will be on there. And, trying to update everything. I'm trying to get a Facebook page is what everyone's telling me I need to do. So
now, do you have any shows coming up as well?
My page and online, I fell back a little bit. I wanted to finish this album, and I'm trying to do a complete makeover and really do the promotion thing. And, for me personally, I'd love to just write rhymes, perform, and record, but unfortunately, a lot more goes into it, So it's doing the online stuff, doing interviews, promoting, booking shows. I pretty much do all that myself. So
it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is. But being able to do something you love, it's a blessing. So if I'm gonna do it, I want to do it as the best I can and give everything I have as far as the music goes. So.
Absolutely. Well, C-Kwes, thanks for being here with us this week, man. We're gonna hit this track. Woke up with Amadeus. I can't talk.
Woke up with Amadeus.
Woke up with Amadeus. As I trip over my tongue. But thanks very much for being here with us, man. And we'll be talking to you soon.
All right. Thanks a lot for having me.
All right,
C-Kwes. I'm in Manchester pretty soon doing a show up there again. So I liked it up there. So let me know, Matt. We'll be in touch.
Absolutely. You got it, man.
All right, man.
All right, take care.
Take care.
All right, and this is C-Kwes with Woke Up with Amadeus.
But what he explained is it's not, he's not waking up with Amadeus.
Right.
Amadeus is on the track with him.
Right, we don't want to give you the wrong idea.
No,
yes, he's not literally talking about waking up with Amadeus.
No,
yes,
it's Woke Up featuring Amadeus.
Right.
I guess would be the better way of saying it.
Exactly. All right, here we go.
At a faster pace, processes at a wider range, at a higher rate, blood race and pulsates, all systems engaged, we in tune, fly to the page, reality properly portrayed, practice harder than the actual game, so when we hit the stage, it's no thing, I've been training out in the rain, remaining heavy focus, we ain't the same way, you should know this, believe, C-Kwes the beast, Amadeus the stampede, thanks for the beat. so I can think clear. Over the edge, kid, I'm on the brink here. Toasting to the life, show the truest light. These are wise words spoken through the mic. Focus, spew, and strike. Focus, you and I. Hope pursuing right ways, wrote the brutal lines. Rockstar, love life, live, laugh, last. Pump off, let it go, never half-ass. Break bread, contact, gotta born facts. Wrong cast the combat, we beyond that. Perform duty like a soldier for real. Millimeter to your mental, I'm holding it still. Comfort and shines, one time, running the rhyme. Homie, you bugged, only thug some of the time. The writing's on the wall, I'm hyper on the ball. Let the horse blow, the final fucking call. And I woke up, the writing's on the wall. No matter how high, someday we all fall. And I woke up, just why we fight at all. When our day comes, we know we standing tall. With no regrets, we hold our heads up high. Look to the sky for answers why. Some things can't be simplified. All great civilizations die. Why ask why I'm quarter past high? Laugh, cry, feel it when I pass by. Touch another one, don't let it all go. When the walls come crumbling, we fall though. Don't get too comfortable at the top. We coming for your spots. Be prepared to drop. In your fan follow. We stand solemn. Corinthian columns. In the city of Boston, homie, you got a problem. Dude, cross that line, shit, it's gonna cost them. Proceed with caution, don't sleep, we awesome. It used to be your house, now it's up for auction. And I woke up, the writing's on the wall. No matter how high, someday we all fall. And I woke up, just why we fight at all. When our day comes, you know we standing tall.
That was Woke Up with Amadeus. I keep saying the name wrong. From C-Kwes. And when we wrap up the show, I'm actually going to play a track from Destructive Rhythm. I really like them a lot, and actually saw them live at Millie's. Really, really good band. It's kind of a bummer in a way that it sounds like they're on the rocks, but hopefully they'll be back.
Well, he said hiatus. He didn't say on the rocks.
He did, but he didn't sound terribly confident that we were going to hear from them again either.
Let him do his solo
we'll
stuff.
See.
He'll get it out of his system, and they'll do a reunion show.
I hope so. I hope so. But I like his solo stuff a lot.
Yeah.
It's got a good vibe.
And we found out he's kind of like a sci-fi geek because he had the C-Kwes show. He's into Contact.
Yes.
You don't really see that much in the hip-hop underground.
Yeah. But I wanted to, and now Trish can hear the story. You were kind of kidding around. You were kind of yelling at me.
I was.
No more hip-hop, Matt.
No more hip-hop, Matt, and get on your fucking mic.
And what happened was when I used to host the Hidden Track on RageRockRadio.com at Hammer's studio, there was an incident where he yelled at me. I was in the bathroom, actually.
He wasn't really yelling at you. He was yelling at the bathroom door.
Yes. He was like, no more fucking rap. He was kind of mad.
Yeah, because he's a metalhead.
Yes.
He was getting annoyed with having all the rappers. And,
yeah.
And that was like the final episode that had any like hip hop or rap, right?
Yes, it was, because I upset him. So I was like, all right, I won't book any more hip hop.
No more chicken for you.
But what I did was, that's right, he used to feed us sometimes.
I was gonna say.
But what I did was, I thought it was okay, because the original parameters he had given me was, it doesn't have to be metal. Because the whole idea of doing Hidden Track, of dumping Metal Classroom, which was the predecessor to Hidden Track, and doing Hidden Track was we would expand beyond the boundaries of metal. We would still have some metal bands, but we would have other types of bands as well. And Destructive Rhythm is a band.
Yes.
They're a live band. They play live instruments. But
they rap. I mean, it's kind of like that. I mean, they do rap with the instruments and things like that. Kind of like, the bands that are out there that are heavy that do the rapping. So I don't know what his big thing was.
Right.
But,
So I was kind of thinking, it's loud out there tonight on Elm Street. I kind of have an observation. I was thinking about this, and I think this was on my mind because earlier we taped an episode of Local Outbreak, which runs on The Planet, Sunday nights at 10. And I interviewed a couple of gentlemen Slicko and EFC from Team Happiness.
Yeah.
And
Good guys.
I've noticed something, and it's I guess in a way it's a constructive criticism of some of the hip hop artists. Well, I have something positive and something negative to say as far as the marketing goes with a lot of these underground hip hop artists. The positive thing I have to say is the observation is they seem to understand marketing and the importance of using social networking and whatnot to market their music better than rock bands do.
Yes.
And I think that's always how it's been. I think hip-hop artists have always sort of gotten it more than rock bands do. A lot of rock bands kind of have this attitude like, well, we're not going to sell ourselves. We're too cool for that or whatever. So they just don't do anything.
Our music is too good for promotion.
Right.
So where the hip-hop artists are out there
they're hustling.
selling themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, the constructive criticism that I have, though, and this has been kind of in the back of my mind for a while, is I've noticed, and I don't know if you've noticed this, Dan, but when we interview hip-hop artists, sometimes it's difficult to understand what exactly it is that we're supposed to be promoting or helping them to promote because, and this was an example, and I'm not trying to diss C-Kwes in any way, he's great, but I got a little confused about, okay, he's got this album coming up called Lousy Forecast, but then he's got this other solo album that's going to come out after that, and he's got all this different music, and sometimes with the hip-hop artists, it seems like they're doing so much, which is great, but they almost overwhelm you with information because they have so much going on.
Well, that's why I notice a lot with Orion.
Yeah.
Orion will he'll put out like 8 albums at one time. Like he'll mass produce his rhymes. And it does get a little, I mean, he's a little bit better in the marketing and things like that than what he does.
Yeah.
But it's just amazing because he'll be like, all right, we're going to have a show and we're going to do a CD release party. And there's 6 CDs.
Right.
That they're all his. And I mean, some of them are mixed tapes and things like that. But you're right. I mean, they tend to kind of, compared to the rock scene and the rap scene, the rappers do tend to kind of have more in their plate or on their plate.
Yeah.
And you're right. I mean, I've noticed with the interviews we've done with most of the hip-hop artists, they're always kind of like, I don't know, like we got this show coming up, and I'm doing this, and I just dropped about 8 tracks on this album, and I got this going on, and this going on, and this going on, and it would be better for them to focus on one thing, make that the primary, get that, he should get that album released, and then be like, okay, it's successful, here's a follow-up album, and do it, you can even do it within a few months. I mean, they used to do that in the 70s and the 80s. You'd have, bands releasing an album every 6 months.
Yeah.
Do that and then kind of promote that. But I would say as a marketing standpoint, though, you do see them out there hustling. They do have
absolutely
flyers, social networking. A lot of them have fantastic websites that they'll go out and design themselves or hire somebody. And I mean, you'll see like just the way they're out there promoting themselves. And they're the first to go out there, like he was saying. He's going to go out there and get stickers made. He's going to go out there, so you're going to see his name out there everywhere. So it is a very positive thing for that type of scene. It's just I'm getting annoyed on a personal level with everything's underground now. How come everything's underground with everybody everybody that's out there now and it's all underground scene? Isn't it above ground now? Isn't it like haven't we gotten to that point now where it's pretty much getting more in the mainstream and shouldn't they be going up the stairs? Go from the underground, get out of that subway and just kind of go up. I mean, they're playing in clubs, they're out there, their music's being played.
Right.
It's like what really makes it underground compared to what else is out there apart from the occasional 4-letter word.
Well, I think maybe underground is if you're not getting mainstream.
Is it kind of like off Broadway?
Like if you're
compared to Broadway?
Sure.
Is that how you classify it?
If you're a hip hop artist in say the Boston radio market and you're not being played on 94.5,
you're underground.
But you are being played on maybe WERS at Emerson College, which I mentioned them because they're kind of the crown jewel of the Boston college radio market. Then maybe you're underground.
Yeah, but you're on the radio.
True. I mean, it's kind of a nebulous
You're getting
term. It's,
underground to me is
I don't
somebody,
use it. I don't use that word personally.
Underground to me is somebody that hasn't been discovered yet, and is getting a following, not radio airplay, not releasing stuff on major labels, but yet they tend to use that word underground a lot. And it seems like every single hip hop artist now is part of the hip hop underground. Mm-hmm. And it's like, so who's above ground?
Right.
Like, nobody has come out and said, hey, yeah, I'm above, they're not going to say that word, but like, everybody's saying, oh, it's all part of the underground scene, all part of the underground scene, but yet, oh, I'm on 94.5, I'm on this station, I'm on that station. To me, that's mainstream.
Right.
If you're on any type of radio airplay other than internet radio or like Sirius, because they'll play obscure stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like major FM broadcasting, I put you at a level you're no longer underground.
Sure.
Kind of like undiscovered bands. Like if you're a rock band that's undiscovered, well, if you're on FM radio, not on a show like Local Outbreak, but if you're on mainstream radio, you're discovered.
Right.
So that's my gripe. That's my bitch about underground. I don't want to offend anybody in that scene, but it just never made any sense to me, and maybe that's because I'm not part of that scene. I don't know. Yeah.
I think it's time you get out there and pick up a mic.
I should. I should do some freestyling.
You should.
I should.
Absolutely.
I should be one of those angry white rappers.
Absolutely.
I don't know what I'd call myself. But,
So what's the that was quite a show we had earlier, Norm Unfiltered. We went
all about God.
Went a full 2 hours, yeah.
All about God and sinning and taking off your jacket numerous times.
Got interesting at the end.
And I don't know.
What do you a new live episode tomorrow night of Verbal Ejaculation? Is that the plan?
As far as I know, as I said, we're making an appearance. Chris Rose and I are going to be at the Fisher Cat Stadium. Mm-hmm. We'll be there for the game versus the Bingham Mets. We'll be in the bag. We'll be pretty much drunk. Uh-huh. But and I also was told we're probably going to be making an appearance at Jillian's beforehand to have some drinks. So if there's anybody in the Manchester area that would like to meet Chris Rose and myself, we will be at Jillian's. Maybe our good friend Hammer will be bouncing that night. Who knows? Maybe. But we'll be there having a few drinks. And if our fellow loving audience wants to buy us drinks because they love Verbal Ejaculation, which is on a 10:45 Thursday night. Eastern time at Styling Souls. I mean, we after the game, we will come over here, and as I threatened you last night, it's going to be sports talk radio tomorrow night. All baseball, all night, just to bore the hell out of you. Oh, boy. We're going to talk about baseball. We're going to talk about broads and baseball, and I don't know. Maybe we'll even get some naked chicks in here. Maybe we'll get really crazy radio. It'll be really good radio. And you're going to be at the Creed show. Have we confirmed that? Friday night. No, you're all set. Yeah, you'll be there Friday. I'm making a personal appearance at the Creed show, signing autographs. At Meadowbrook in Guilford, New Hampshire. So be sure to find Dan there. Seek him out. I will be wearing a Skillet shirt because I'm a big Skillet fan. I don't own any Creed clothing, but Annie at the Planet did try to rope me into going as well. You're going. But I really just don't want to see Creed. You're going. I need a ride. My car's dead. That's my excuse. I need a ride. Yeah. So you're gonna have to pick me up and bring me there. Yeah. Well, I'll think about it. I'll sleep on it. God, there's a big DLT in it for you. Oh, really? Yeah. I really don't want to sit. I'd like to see Skillet. I really don't want to sit through Creed. Creed's not bad. I mean, like the first album. After that, I have no use for them. And if you go, I will sing with arms wide open the entire trip. Yes. I was just thinking that's what did make me hate them. Actually, I do hate them because I hate that song. Yeah, but that is a personal song about his son. That's a song about the birth of his son. That's a touching song. I'm nauseous just thinking about it. And you know what annoys me is the pretentious way he the word open, he pronounces it open, and that pretentious. Arms wide open. That's so pretentious. I just want to. Wait a minute. Is he Philip Seymour Hoffman? Wait a minute. Maybe I will go to the show just so I can punch him in the face. Well, you know what you should do? Go there with a big sign saying "You pretentious prick" or something like that. Yes. Or, how does it feel to be this man of God that makes porno tapes with Fred Durst or whoever it was? That was Kid Rock. Was it Kid Rock that he was with? Yes. Not with. Yeah. Well, I don't know. You're the one that watched the tape. I did not watch the tape. I've never seen the tape. But their newer album was a lot better. You said yourself you liked Overcome or whatever. I do like that song. Yeah. I mean, sorry. And from what I understand, I've never seen them live, but they put on a good show. But Skillet puts on a phenomenal show, and as long as they allow Skillet to do their show, and when you go see a Skillet show, which you've seen before because you've gone to the Christian festival. Mm-hmm. When you go see Skillet, it's like going to a Kiss show from 1977. I'm telling you right now, because they use all the effects and everything.
I bet you anything they don't get to use them this tour.
No, you think
I bet you Creed
cut them down?
I bet Creed doesn't let them do all that stuff.
Well, they'll probably be that it'll be like their low key, because they also do a low key stage setup where they just have some lights and things like that. But I'm sure Creed are that pretentious that they're going to be like.
Yep.
But I guarantee Skillet's going to sound a lot better than Creed, though. I will put that guarantee in there. I will guarantee that the crowd will be more into Skillet than they will be into Creed. That's why the tickets haven't sold out. That's why, because I think there's going to be more Skillet fans than there are Creed fans.
Yeah.
Because the first half of that tour did poorly, and I'm surprised that they were still touring.
Yeah, the Planet's having trouble giving away tickets.
Should you really be saying that? I mean, well, call the Planet and do the contest and get tickets to Creed. That's what I'm saying for people out there listening.
That's right.
For the hip-hop community that's listening to this broadcast, go out and see Creed.
And we're guilty of I'm guilty of overloading everyone with information too, I guess. But one other thing to mention: Saturday, depending on where you are, if you're in the Manchester, New Hampshire area, be sure to check out the Battle of the Bands at Millie's Tavern this coming Saturday night.
That's sponsored by IPM and United Front.
IPMNation.com and United Front Company are the sponsors, and Trish is going to be there that night. Orion and Danny from Project Hybrid will be there, and they're going to play. Project Hybrid's going to play.
Now, this Battle of the Bands, is it rock, rap? Is it any type of genre?
It's everything.
So
it's multi-genre. It's going to be a really big deal. Mm-hmm. So everyone in the Manchester area, be sure to check that out at Millie's Tavern Saturday night. And if you're in the Worcester, Massachusetts area, come on down to the Raven. Mm-hmm. I will be at the Raven. My band Chemical Distance will be playing Saturday night.
I'm torn. Do I go to the Raven? Do I go to Millie's? Do I do both?
Ooh. Maybe you can go to one and astral project to the other.
Maybe I could webcam from Millie's to the Raven.
That'd be amazing.
Maybe I can do two shows at once. Maybe I can drive between the two.
No, maybe.
It's not that far to
that's
say Worcester.
Yeah, Worcester. It's about 90 minutes.
Yeah.
So two big IPMNation.com events this weekend.
Wow.
So
a crazy weekend.
So be sure to join us back here tomorrow night at 10:45 for Verbal Ejaculation.
Maybe we'll have some surprise guests, hopefully. I don't know.
Ooh, that would be good.
But if Matt does surprise us with guests, we need to have forewarning.
Yes, apparently. I guess what I could do is I could tell Chris Rose.
Yes, tell Chris.
But for you, it can be a surprise.
I love surprise guests.
Yes.
Unless they're people with no personality.
Right.
But I always love a good surprise.
Absolutely.
And that's it. That's all I'm going to say. Just tune in tomorrow night for the best show on IPM Nation. I mean, it's hands down the best show. We get the best reviews. We stay in the top of the charts, even though I think the charts are kind of, added to your favor. But,
Never.
Yeah,
Never.
Yeah, I figured it out. And, I actually am going to get a hacker to go into the site and make every single show that people download is going to give us more points. So,
all right.
I'm going to get my religious god hacker that's out there to do that. So, on that note,
is that Captain Ozone?
Are we saying Captain? Have we officially announced that it's more than likely Captain Ozone? My theory was correct.
I have only circumstantial evidence, but it's interesting that today I got a random email from him containing a prayer.
Yeah, well, that's what I told you last night off the air.
Yep.
That was my theory right when you started talking about it.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And I texted Christy today, and I said I think that's who it was.
So that's obviously who it is. That's again, circumstantial evidence.
Right.
But,
no proof.
No proof, but I can see him doing that.
Yeah.
But we're going to listen to what track from...
We're going to wrap up the show with Endless Cycles, featuring C-Kwes, but this is from his band, Destructive Rhythm.
Really?
Here on remote transmission on IPMNation.com. Check it out. And we'll see you all tomorrow night on Verbal Ejaculation.
And have a good night.